Well, I played on my own as the Magic Lantern in Bristol. I think I first started doing it in 2005 or something. Anyway, I started writing songs at uni in Bristol and came up with the name The Magic Lantern. And then Fred and I, this is Fred, our percussion player, Fred and I went to school together, and he was studying music in London. And so when I finished uni in Bristol, I moved down to London and hooked up with Fred, and then through Fred met the other guys in the band, all of whom were different musicians. And it started in Dave's old house. Dave, is joining us. And in Dave's old house above a post office in Green Lanes, which was exciting. And we had a few jams and hung out a bit and parties, and it was good. And that's where the Magic Lantern were born. Start with you, Fredo.
Oh my god. I don't know, but it's definitely some classical music. Having classical musician parents, undoubtedly that. But the first non-classical, Beatles, every Beatles LP in Argentinian, Los Beatles. and then Portrait Jazz, like the 11th.
I think for me, probably a compilation called Funky People that James Brown kind of produced, basically. That, yeah, it's going to work its way into the band.
Funky People.
That and probably maybe a Miles Davis album called Bitches Brew, which is very nice.
Yeah, I used to really like Nirvana and 9 Inch Nails.
Really comes through.
Yeah, but yeah.
Shines through in that bass clarinet playing.
Bit like a hole.
Yeah, but that was just a phase. So anyway,
moving on. My first cassette tape was the Beatles live at the Hollywood Bowl, which I listened to so much that it completely burned through. And then the second cassette I got was Smash by The Offspring, which was fucking awesome. But I think the first album that I kind of memorized everything about it and could hear it in my head, when I used to do swimming classes, and I'd replay this album in my head doing the laps, and it was it's a bit cliche.
It's a very perverse session.
Bit of it,
linking music with swimming and what this man has.
Bit of a cliche, but I was kind of blew by Miles Davis. I would say it's. Should we give it a go?
Go ahead.
Okay. I guess it's like chamber folk, for want of a better word. The songs start as songs just on a guitar and a voice, and then get arranged, principally by Fred, to where rather than in a normal kind of folk band or indie band would have a lot of people copying all the same parts but on different instruments and different registers, so it's quite a thick sound. The arrangements are more like a chamber music, like chamber group, insofar as everyone has their own part, which is separate and distinct, which, if it works together, can meshes to make a whole. Balls. It's got to have balls.
Wouldn't know it.
Yes, true. There are many types of balls.
I guess the overall shape of the song, and personally for me, more than words and harmony, the melody, what's in the melody.
Well, yeah, I guess we are. I mean, I really like Blake. I haven't read a huge amount of his stuff, but certain bits that really resonate, and that the stanza from which that line comes is really powerful. I really like it.
The palm, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've actually written other songs on Blake poems, none of which we play in this band. So it's one of the easiest poets to write music to. I find simplicity of the rhythm, that kind of
Yeah, the short answer would be a fucking long time. I think the first session, which we recorded, somebody told me first, and that was in summer of 2009. So that was in maybe June or August 2009. And then actually we didn't do the bulk of the recording until the kind of the winter of 2009. Did over to finish. We finished doing all the actual recording about in February 2010, so February last year, a year ago, and then it's been a bit of a stress.
Yeah, I mean, basically, unfortunately, I haven't had the luxury of being able to just get into a space for 2 weeks and record an album. I had to do it bit by bit, which is hopefully doesn't come across in the music. Sort of stuttering.
But what's cool, what has worked out is that the reason it took so long to get from finishing the recording to getting it mixed and things, and it's going to be mastered on Saturday, this Saturday, so in a few days' time. It's cool. And see you later, guys. Thanks for coming down. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. Nice one. See you later.
Thanks. Take care.
Cool. Is we really wanted to work with this guy called Leo Abrahams. He's a friend of ours, and he's really busy. He's worked with lots of really good people, but fundamentally, he's a really good musician. And I think what we wanted to, throughout the whole process, we wanted to work with people who were not only kind of technically good at what they did, like recording or mixing or mastering, but who were actually musicians too, who we respected their musical judgment, so that when they made comments, and they did make comments, and you know, to change things or move things around, and actually, you know, it's important to trust someone's musical judgment, so you can say, actually, you know, maybe they've got a good idea in that. So the recording was with a friend of ours, Dave DeRose, who recorded in his tiny little studio, and then the mixing was with Leo Abrahams, and the mastering is going to be on Saturday with Mandy Parnell, so hopefully we'll get there. Guys, the right answer would be that they're all equally amazing. But the reality is that probably people do have personal favourites. I personally like Cut From Stone, which is the single, and the one we played last tonight. I really like performing that, and I think the recording came across quite well.
I think that's also like one of the best examples of our kind of arranging, just playing together as a band as well. It's like one of the last things we did, wasn't it? Before we started recording.
Yeah.
And it's still developing now, actually. We need to do another version.
Well, hopefully, I haven't told you guys, hopefully that the next Green Note gig, we're gonna get Alex to come down and do a live at the Green Note EP, which we'll release in the summer, which we can have in the summer.
But hopefully you can listen to the album as a whole, you know, in one go, and no songs will stick out for anything other than good reasons. And the whole album will be one thing, one composition.
It's going to be out in May 2011. You can pre-order it. You will be able to pre-order it from Believe Records.
Believe Records?
Yes, it's going to be great. All the links and things will be at the bottom of your screen. Right? There are so many highlights, I can't even think of one. It's just never-ending. Well, we went to Sweden. In fact, we schlepped all the way to Sweden and played at this festival called Dragonfly Festival, where they screwed us on the money. But it was a good vibe. We had a great time. There's some funny photos of us playing samba in a tent when it's raining in Sweden. That was a high point for me.
Yeah.
Playing samba in the tent. Yeah. It was an old Iron Age fort. You kind of had to be there.
Playing a little acoustic gig on logs in the clearing. That was pretty.
Oh, that was good, yeah.
We weren't playing logs, we were sitting on the logs.
That'd be interesting.
Dave, what's your highlight? Still being here in 2011. Okay, Fred, say something that isn't Dragonfly.
On a very boring but serious note, I think finally making some very tricky songs sound good after having tried to play them and badly for like ages. We definitely achieved that, and that's for me like definitely that.
Well, the album's going to come out, so we hope that that will engender some goodwill amongst the music listening public. We are going on a little tour, which I'm trying to organise with varying degrees of success. That's in May, from the 20th to 29th of May. We might play some festivals, although we have a bit of a mixed approach to festivals. We've had a few bad experiences, and it's quite a schlep to get to festivals. You tend not to get paid, and the gigs tend to be shit. So unless you really want to go and have a good time at festivals, which some of us do, don't get me wrong, then it's not necessarily the best use of everyone's time. But I think the best thing will be finally getting the album out, and hopefully all the people who've supported us for such a long time, all our friends and people coming to the gigs, and all those people who basically keep it happening, will hopefully be able to see what
Fruits of your work.
Yes, exactly, and what they've helped support us. So that would be a really nice experience. Spaghetti.
João Gilberto.
Yeah, João. Yeah, that would be good. So in English, it's João Gilberto. John Gilbert. He's like Brazilian bossa nova guitar player. Really good. That would be good. That would be good.
Amazing.
Yeah. Ali Farka R.I.P. That would be great. I think Mingus Band would be awesome.
Alive or dead?
It's a dream, I guess, so it could be either.
Phil would obviously be the Funk 5.
Yeah, the meter, right? That's something.
Keep with James Brown.
Well, we became members of the Fire Collective through Fred. Fred can tell us a bit more about what Fire is in a minute. But hopefully we're doing a nice collaboration in June. I don't know when this is going to be out, the 14th of June at the Vortex with Seb Rochford, if you can make it. He's a great drummer and a really inspiring musician. And that'd be nice. I can tell you about what the Hectic Eclectic is really a bunch of singer-songwriters who we actually grew up with in Birmingham. They're friends of ours we went to school with, and we used to hang out a lot and play music, and that was based, write songs and play them to each other on the weekends. That was kind of our way to have a good time. And then we all scattered, and I think partly so there was something to connect us when we were apart. We kind of started this collective called the Hectic Eclectic, and we still get together and play a lot, so that's fun. But the Fire thing is a bit more of a serious beast.
Yeah, I mean, well, I joined the Fire, in fact Lucy joined the Fire Collective as well very recently, which is a collective of musicians started over 10 years ago by a slightly older generation, kind of masterminded by a man called Barak Shmor, who was my teacher at college.
We all played in his samba band at various times.
Yeah, and it's just a really great, really creative bunch of musicians that have done loads of cool things, loads of bands like Polar Bear and Acoustic Ladyland, all these bands have come out of Fire, and so now we're working with them, and they're using us, we're using them to enhance.
I'm heading home, but I don't know where it is. I'm heading home, so I guess I'll just keep on heading on. Well, in between the day and night, I've broken memories silhouetted in the waning light where your home used to be. The singing sound of emptiness which drags you to your feet, but in the deafness of identity, you lose your chance of speaking. Now, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. A jigsaw paints a picture composed of tiny parts, but every tiny piece is made of 1,000 broken hearts. So now we've set you free to go and start again, but you'll